Hi y'all, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. So today I thought I would do a garden tour, the first garden tour for me ever and the first garden tour for the year. What got me into YouTube was actually other people doing their garden tours because I think it's so great to, number one, get garden inspiration. See how they have it laid out, see how they have it decorated, and then see what they also planted and then how they planted it. What trellising did they do? You know, what did they do? So I've gotten so much inspiration from other garden tours. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do mine and I'm gonna keep mine as real as humanly possible. So I have a full-time job. I live in this house by myself. My parents help me a lot, but it is just me doing a lot of the work and working a full-time job and trying to hang out with friends, trying to have a social life and trying to be a homesteader and a gardener. That's a lot of stuff. So my garden is not perfect, and a lot of times throughout the season people will come over and they'll comment how great everything looks, and they're seeing everything for the first time or for the first time in weeks, and it's different than how I look at it. So right now I can look at everything and I can just see how much work I need to do, that there is so much work to be done. But I thought this would be a good video to do just to kind of show y'all that what you see on Instagram is not always real. What you see on YouTube is not always real. That it takes a lot of work to get to the point where it is Instagram worthy, where it is magazine worthy. And especially if you're someone that has a family, has kids, has a full-time job, has other commitments, then your garden may not get as much commitment or as much from you as it wants. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you're not able to make that magazine-worthy garden doesn't mean that you shouldn't still have a garden of some sort. So I'm going to show you my garden. We're still in the early phases of getting everything that needs done, but there is still a lot of beauty and a lot of growth going on. One thing that is really important to me that I hope everybody understands is, again, social media cannot be relied upon. We are in the beginning of May, and I keep seeing everyone else's gardens are mulched and they're beautiful and they look great, and mine look very, very weedy. So that's another reason that I want to do this video, is that everything happens in phases. Will everything at my property get done? It will, and it'll get done by the end of May. But I know for me and for my garden space, how much gardens I have, what I do know that it will get done. So I like to do is like to focus on one section at a time. So for me, it's my vegetable garden. I completely, not completely, but I largely redesigned my vegetable garden this year. I added a very large space to it, how to get that space ready. Trying to get the space mulched. So I've been focusing all of my time on the vegetable garden, and I haven't given a single moment's reflection to any of my other garden spaces. And for me, that's normal. So I normally work in one spot, and then I move to the next spot, and then move to the next spot, and then move to the next spot. So my goal is to have all of my gardens ready to go for the season by the end of May. I'll have all my vegetables in, I'll have all of my annual flowers in, I'll have my seeds in, and I'll have everything mulched. That is a lot on my plate, but I think at this point it's doable. I do it every year, so I think it is doable. So if you're in a place where your garden's not looking, or your yard's not looking how you want, don't sweat it. My yard, my grass right now is pretty long, and I'm sitting here talking to you rather than mowing because I hate mowing and trimming. But it'll all get done. And if your garden sometimes looks a little messy, so be it. Your garden's still producing. It's still giving you fruits and vegetables and flowers and happiness and calmness. And there's something to be said about that. So even if your garden is just a mess, enjoy the beauty of the mess. So without much further ado, let's go look at my mess. So I filmed the first part of this video, and then it was really hot still, so I went inside and ate dinner. So it's been maybe 40-45 minutes. It has gotten so chilly out here. I needed a sweater. And does anyone else do this? I have lost my shoes. I don't know where my shoes are. I have two pairs of garden shoes. And one is outside getting cleaned with the rain. I do it often. But my second one I cannot find. It's nowhere in the house, and I don't know what I did with it. But hopefully I'm not the only one that does this. But this up here is what I call my patio garden. So right there, I have, and I'll take you guys over, I'll show you, I have, this is my herb garden. So this is normally my herb garden, but this year, I'm making it like my salad station. So I have some chives that are getting ready to bloom, but some really nice lettuce, some mesclun mix. And I've been picking from this a lot, and it's doing really well. So I'm loving this, and I'm loving just the colors in that. So I'm excited for that to continue growing and getting bigger. But then in this whole area over here, last year I planted my tomatoes, my peppers here, and I really liked it. But this year, I'm just gonna do flowers in here. So I planted my tulips last fall, and they're coming up. One fun thing I didn't know about this is I bought these tulip bulbs from Lowe's, and they sold them in like a big bag of tulips. And I sold them in a big bag of tulips, and each tulip put up one single stem, one single flower. So I don't think I'm gonna be buying my flowers in bulk from like Lowe's or Home Depot anymore. But look at this one I did buy that I am obsessed with. So if I did nothing else right, I did this right. Look how pretty that is. I have so many of them. There's some just absolutely stunning. And then over here, I have some alums planted. I have 3 that are coming up. There's one there, one right there, and then one over there. And my ranunculus is getting ready to bloom. I thought this was wild celery. I put this on my Instagram asking what this was, and everyone thought that it would have been celery before the blooms. And even a plant ID app said celery, because I'm like, I didn't plant celery. So I did plant ranunculus, but I didn't think it was going to do anything. So I'm super excited that it is coming up. And then look here, I planted asparagus last year, and my asparagus is doing really well. This is getting really tall, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this guy. But if you've been planting your own asparagus, definitely do so. It takes a while to get going. This is the best patch I have. I have a couple other patches, but the asparagus, like I'll show you. Can you see the difference? This is one here. I don't know if you can see it. Super skinny. So I have a couple patches, but some of the asparagus is just super, super skinny. But it's asparagus, right? Let's go pick another one. Here's another one, super skinny. So this bed up here, like I said, my patio bed is the next thing on my list to get done. As soon as I get the vegetable garden ready to go, this is what I'm gonna focus on next. And so what's nice is I am waiting for the tulips to finish blooming before I start working this whole space. But I did go, and last year I planted marigolds. I had marigolds going the whole way down here, and they just got big and bushy. So in between the tulips, these guys are ready to come out. But in between the tulips, I did go and I started my little baby marigolds. And they'll get nice and big and bushy in no time. I also have one little blueberry plant, and every year he puts off more and more fruit. So I'm excited for him. And then I do have a lettuce tower, which is it's not doing as well as in previous years. I think I need to like refresh my soil, but this is doing great, you know, but this not so much. But what is doing really great is my strawberry tower. Say hi, Sawyer. Hi, Sawyer. My strawberry tower is doing really, really great. You can see this is one that I overwintered. I did have to go buy new strawberries because I didn't know how to overwinter this whole mess. But I did, and these guys were cheap because strawberries are not expensive. They should not be expensive. But so what I like to do is, these aren't good examples. I needed more time. I ran out of time and I planted these. What I like to do, if you see at the bottom, I like to do a strawberry and then an empty. So it's empty, strawberry, empty, strawberry. And then over this weekend, I'm going to do another empty, strawberry, empty, strawberry. And what's nice is, and I have a whole bunch more of these. These I got from the dollar store. So this is like a green stalk, but if you're watching your cash flow, it's a lot more affordable. But what's nice about strawberries is they'll put off runners. So I don't know, here are some old runners from last year. They'll put off these runners. So by leaving an empty container underneath your current strawberries, you can just put that runner, if this was a runner, into that bed, and it would start a new strawberry plant. So this thing, once I get it, you know, the right way, this thing will be full in no time. But I am excited. It is getting ready to bloom. It is doing marvelous things. I do have some random things, places, not always the best, but just to show you that you don't have to have a lot of space to do a lot of things. So this is a big bed. This is my black raspberry bed. And it was a really nice mulched area. It has a tree in there, or like a shrub in there. I bought home these black raspberry bushes that I found in the woods, and I needed somewhere to put them there to plant. So I put them there as kind of, I think, temporary, and they have clearly filled in the space. So I'm really excited to get those black raspberries. They're gonna be delicious, and that's their 3rd year and they're that big. So I think that's really exciting. So let's go down to the vegetable garden and see what we have. So I just put in this new bed. This new bed is all new. And I did it because, see, you can see my grass desperately needs mowed. But I did it because the grass was like growing up against the fence last year, and it was just ugly, sort of like this. It was just kind of ugly and messy. So I put this in thinking it would be just a nice kind of border, and then we can just kind of like mow our grass here and not have to worry about it growing along the fence. While I'm talking about, though, I did want to talk about along the fence. I'm hoping, I do have some flowers here. So I just got a big tree cut down. They literally finished yesterday. I ended up taking out my neighbor's fence. But while they were here, they did damage some stuff, but everything will come back. You can see right there, they kind of stepped on one. But I have these flowers, daylilies, planted the whole way down here and the whole way along the back. So my hope is that these daylilies eventually get nice and big, and they are getting pretty big. Like that one right there is a nice size. Like that's a nice size right there for just getting started, and they're not going to bloom until like the end of June. So my hope is that they're going to take over this entire fence and cover the entire fence, and then I won't have to worry about trimming or mowing along the fence either. That is my goal. But along our new fence, I did some fun things, so let me show you. I'm obsessed with this guy. This is a silver stream, and I think he's gonna be so pretty as he just falls over that log. I got 2 roses. This is a blue tea rose, and then I have down here just a red, he's looking a little worse for the wear, a long stemmed rose. So excited for those. And so far I've just planted some sunflowers, some snapdragons, some cosmos. Here, this is pretty. This is a Highland cream thyme. So again, once that kind of covers or grows and covers a log, I think that'll be fun. So my plan for this bed is to do a lot of annuals. To do canna lilies, sunflowers, zinnias. I do have a fire poker in here, which I think will be really nice. But just to make this a really nice annual cut flower bed. That is my hope. I did buy this this weekend, and I'm super excited about it. This is a chocolate Cosmo, and it smells like chocolate. It legitimately smells like chocolate. I just think that is so fun. And look at its dark color. It's gorgeous. This one is like a reddish one, like a dark red, but they were looking like a nice dark chocolate. So I'm loving them, and I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to be saving seeds from them this year. So that's just going to be a nice annual flower bed that's going to kind of welcome you into the garden. So this arch last year was my green bean arch, and we're now moving our green bean somewhere else. But this year I'm going to plant my red noodle beans on here. I've never done red noodle beans, but I'm gonna put them on here, and I am excited to try them and see what they're like. And I think they'll just be a fun like entrance to the garden. So all about trying to make the garden fun and cute and pretty. So I just love that little guy there. But this is real life. Look at the weeds. I need to mulch more, but this is real life. Look at the weeds. So this is my carrot bed, and this is hard to see. It's got a couple of weeds I gotta pull out here, but carrots are really hard to see. But if you can look right here, this is a carrot that's off to a good start. See if I can get you down here low enough. All those little greens are carrots. So I was initially worried that my carrots hadn't germinated. It took them about a month. It was cooler. It was probably about 40s in the day and 30s at night. So I was worried that they weren't gonna germinate, but they did, and they actually came in really, really well. It's really hard to kind of, I think, show up on camera, but this is a really nicely germinated carrot bed. And for the first time, I used the best I could. I used the square foot planter, or the square foot square, and I planted these like you're supposed to. I think it's 16 and a foot. Yeah, 16 and a foot. So I actually planted these intentionally rather than just sprinkling, because carrot seeds are so small. So I'm really happy and excited with their layout, their position, and how well they're doing. So it is May 5th, it's Cinco de Mayo, so happy Cinco de Mayo. And my carrots are off to a good start. We got a couple weeds we got to take care of, but my carrots are off to a really good start. The same cannot be said about my beets. So this is my beet bed, and there are a good amount of beets, good amount of weeds, but a good amount of beets. But there are definitely holes in my beets. So there are definitely holes in my beets, but I'm gonna let them get a little bigger, and then once I identify the holes, I'm gonna go ahead and reseed. Some of them are still popping up. So just because I have some beets that are about this tall, and then I have some that I can see have just germinated. So some of these things do take some time. So don't be in too much of a hurry to reseed. I was gonna honestly reseed both my beets and my carrots out 3 weeks ago before I started seeing them shoot up, and I'm glad I didn't. And that's what's so funny is I've grown beets and carrots for years, and I've never had an issue, knock on wood. But every time you go start something and it doesn't germinate right when you think it's going to, you just start to think you did something wrong, and you didn't. It just takes time. I don't think you ever not start to doubt yourself and start to think, what did I do wrong? My garlic is doing really good. I have some kale planted in with my garlic on the other side. So my garlic is doing really good, so I'm really pleased with that. And then I got this fun thing at an auction. A whole bunch of cilantro planted around it. And then in the middle I have basil, which I thought had died, but as you can see is now starting to come back. So I think that'd be really pretty with just a basil sticking out the top. I think that'll be really fun. There are two trays or a tray of pansies that I forgot about, and they obviously very much died. And then in here I'm doing an experiment. I just sowed some, I think this is arugula, in a tray, and I'm keeping it watered, and it is quite wet now, and we're getting a lot of rain in the next 2 weeks, so I left it in the greenhouse. But I thought I'd try that and see how well that worked. So I thought I'd try the tray, and I honestly wanted to do a tray of everything, like a tray of arugula, a tray of mesclun mix, a tray of spinach. I thought I would try that and see how that worked, and so far that's all I've done. So we're gonna see how that works, and then that might be something we do in the fall, is just instead of planting maybe in the ground, we just plant in trays. I'm not really sure. I'm thinking maybe like it could be like microgreens. I don't really know. But oh, my Swiss chard is doing great. So I will tell you what, I'm a first year user of worm castings, and I think I am a convert. I put worm castings on this bed less than a week ago, if that, honestly. And everything has really shot up. Everything has really shot up. So with my cabbages, my first thing is I started my cabbages, I started all my brassicas too late. You see I have one there, one there. They're actually getting a decent size. But I started my brassicas too late, and I'm not going to do that again. And so when I put them out, they were too small. And the second issue I did is I put them directly in the greenhouse. I thought before I hardened them off, I could just put them in the greenhouse and that would be okay. And it was not. They basically all but died back. And I think there were initially 12, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 that are still alive and kicking, and 6 of the 8 have really grown. So I think 6 of the 8 are going to be completely fine. But they have all grown a lot. These are, for as small as they were, they have grown a lot. And you see I like putting little gnomes in my garden. But this Swiss chard has grown a lot too. And I don't even know what to use Swiss chard for. So if you have Swiss chard growing, let me know what you do with it. Because I've never grown it before. I just really wanted a rainbow veggie because I thought that'd be fun. Look at all the onions. My onions are doing amazing. And I am so impressed with my lines. Do we see my lines? So my onions are doing so amazing. I am loving how good they look, and everything took off really well. So this year I'm doing an experiment with onion starts and onion sets. Onion starts are supposed to be a 2nd-year onion, and you're actually supposed to get a bigger onion with onion starts. Onion sets, you actually plant like a little bulb, and you're not supposed to get as big of an onion. That's more so for greens. So I thought I'd give it a try. I bought the onion sets by accident, so I'm not gonna let them go to waste. So I thought, let's give it a try and see what happens. Now, right behind the onion bed right here is where I have my white potatoes planted. And so far, I just have a lot of weeds coming up, no potatoes, but it's only been about 2 months, so that's fine. Or not 2 months, 2 weeks. And potatoes do take a little bit of time to grow and pop out of your straw. So I'm not worried about that. I don't think I'd be worried until maybe it was like mid-June and I haven't gotten any sprouts, but for right now, I think we're good. Because I killed my broccoli, I had to store buy some broccoli. So my goal this year was to have 20 broccoli plants, and so far I think I have about 12. Again, this is another bed that I put worm castings on, and ever since I put worm castings on them, they're doing really well. They are really enjoying the worm castings. So if you don't have worm castings, you need to add them to your plan, because it's phenomenal. I've really definitely seen a massive increase in everything I've added worm castings to, and I'm going to keep adding them to everything because I just think they're the magic of the world. Behind us I have little catmint. My cats love catmint, but also it is a good medicinal herb. And then I do have some snap peas here that are doing really, really well. And what's funny is, again, to showcase all failures, I planted snap peas all around here, and I planted radishes in the middle. And for some reason, my snap peas only wanted to grow on one side. So I need to come back at some point and plant something in here and then plant this side. But for right now, my snap peas are looking great. Another failure is the broccoli bed. So this broccoli bed was continued. This was my broccoli that I planted, and it had just died. So I came in, I did plant some spinach and some basil in here. Nothing seems to be doing good though in this bed. So I have this bed and I have that bed right there that are still empty. So those beds I am planning on doing. I know that bed over there is going to be flowers. I think I'm gonna do zinnias there. So the way this bed is looking, this may become a flower bed too, which I'm okay with because it is right in the middle. It's right as soon as you walk in. So the bed's right there, and right there is the gate. So it's right as soon as you walk in, so I think that would be pretty. But nothing's doing good in that bed this year. So that's what we currently have planted. Like I said, it's Cinco de Mayo, it's May 5th. So it is still really early. I do have all of my tomatoes out. Well, not all of my tomatoes. I have a good chunk of my tomatoes. This is probably half of them that I'm gonna get planted. I do a lot with tomato products. I'm not a tomato sauce person, but last year I made enchilada sauce, which I loved. I made tomato soup, which I use in so many things. I need more salsa in my life. I think I'm gonna open the last jar of salsa this weekend. So I definitely like to have tomatoes in my garden, a lot of tomatoes. So the majority of these will be for me. And I have some fun new varieties. I have a big Brandywine, which I've never had a Brandywine. Well, I guess I have. I've had a yellow Brandywine, but I have a red Brandywine, which I've never had. But I have a Dr. Witchies. I am so excited for the Dr. Witchies. I don't know where he is. I don't know. I have a Dr. Witchies. I have a Boxcar Willie. I'm so excited for some of these tomatoes because I've heard so much about them. So I'm really, really excited. And then you can see I have a ton of planting up I need to do. I have some sunflowers that need planted, some coleus I need to plant. I definitely have a lot of planting up I need to do, but I was kind of waiting until I put them in like their forever homes, just to save time, save cost of materials, you know, kind of just save all across the board. So that's what I have planted right now. Like I said, May 5th, we still have the bean trellis that'll be going up soon. Over here, sorry if I'm making you guys sick, I hope I'm not. Over here is gonna be my corn and peppers. Back in the back is gonna be my sweet potatoes, my tomatoes. Oh, and then the green bean teepee. This is fun. Let's show you guys the green bean teepee. This is what I saw on Pinterest, and I gave the project, oops, I'm stuck. I gave the project to my dad to do, and he did it. Y'all, he did it. Let's go around the potatoes. I don't know where my shoes are, and the wood chips on my feet hurt. I'm regretted not knowing where my shoes are. But look at this green bean teepee. So we just took some saplings that he cut down, and then we tied just some string, some twine on there, and I'm gonna right now just have a whole bunch of wood chips because again this new space was new this year, so it needs to be, there were bushes here, so I couldn't put a silage tarp down or anything like that. So I just filled up the best I could and just mulched it heavily. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a couple big bags of compost, manure, some garden soil, and I am gonna cover this whole area with soil and plant my green beans in the soil. I'm not gonna plant them directly in these wood chips, don't worry. I also need to find a place to put some green bean bushes. I love green beans, and I think I want more than just the trellis. So, but I think that's gonna be super fun. I'm gonna get a chair to put in there. I think that's gonna be such a fun place. So if you look, we'll give you a whole spin of my yard. Right there is an alley, and then the end of my yard is right there. I'm gonna take you over down there by the yard, by the fence. I have a whole big thing of raspberries, another thing of red raspberries, and I have one blackberry bush at the end of the corner of the barn, or the corner of the garage. I have a big blackberry bush. So you don't have to have a lot of space to be able to do a lot of things, grow a lot of your own food. And as you can see, this is this is definitely not gorgeous, stunning. It's not, but it all takes work. So I will spend my weekends and my evenings working out here, getting this ready. See here I have a big pile of sawdust or wood chips I gotta spread. This will all get done, and that's what I keep telling myself. This is the first year that I haven't panicked, so I hope I can inspire somebody else to not panic. It'll all get done. And it'll get done and you'll be able to enjoy it. It is still early in the season. I have friends asking me, I want plants from you, I want this, I want that. I'm like, guys, it is still early. It is May 5th. We could still get a frost. I think our last frost that we had was honestly probably like 3 nights ago. It is still getting cold. It is like I'm in a sweater right now. It's not, it's like 6:30. So we're still very early in the season. Don't let things like Instagram make you feel bad about what you have. Take what you have and do the best you can with it. And if it's messy, like that right now, it's messy, but it's still gonna be productive. It's still gonna work for you. And it's gonna be great. So this is the first garden tour of the summer. I'm gonna do one, I don't know, maybe every month, like on the dot, or maybe I'll just do one whenever I have a lot going on. But I'm excited to see how this space is gonna grow in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. But if you don't take anything else away from this, take away worm castings. They are magnificent. They are your best friend. You will want them. Thank you guys for joining me on the first garden tour of the season. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. I hope you're getting some sort of inspiration of what you can do in your own garden. And until next time, have a good night.